Esteban, hi, this is Jim Delapine. I want to give you some video feedback here on this wonderful character you created. I love it. I love it. I do note that you did the layer for sharpening, but you included the background. So that's kind of you weren't supposed to do that. Okay, so just go in there and read it a little more carefully. You need to only, I don't know how much it would matter in this case. It really wouldn't matter, but just in case you have a more detailed background, then you would want to isolate the character only and just sharpen that. Okay. Right now, what you've done is you've sharpened the entire image, including the background, including this shadow, and you don't want to sharpen any shadows, of course. Okay. So let's take a look here. I want to show you an alternate way of doing the text here. Okay, this is not really a suggestion. I mean, you're welcome to do it. It's more of a learning thing that I want to share with you. Okay, so I'm going to just do a few things here. I'm going to take, first of all, let me see here. Why isn't, I want to select, first let me move this over here. Okay, let me go down here to the bottom. I'm going to, what's going on here? Okay. Why? Oh, I know why. Okay, because you have the merge layer all that's blocking everything. So now, okay. So I'm going to do something a little different here. All right, I'm going to trash this bottom area. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I want to show you an alternate. Okay, and then we're going to take this background here, and I'm going to duplicate it. So Control J duplicates the background. Okay, Control J duplicates a layer as long as nothing's selected. Okay, if you have a selection, then Control J will copy what's in that selection to the layer above. Okay, so I'm going to take this layer that I just copied and go to Edit, Transform, Flip, Vertical. So now it's upside down. And then I'm going to drag this straight down. So I'm going to click, start dragging, and then hold down my Shift key as I'm dragging. Okay, or you see you have your opacity down. Okay, and then once I get down to the bottom here, it kind of snaps into place. Then I'm going to let go of the cursor and then my Shift key. Okay, then since this image here extends out beyond, I want to do this. I want to hit Control A to select all and image crop. Okay, so it'll crop out that stuff down below. All right, and then I'm going to put this layer into perspective. Why is this taking so? Well, you must have had a lot of imagery outside the border. That took a long time to crop. All right, so now let me hit Control D and then go to, with this layer active, okay, I'm going to go to Edit, Transform, Perspective, and I'm going to click and pull outward like this. I mean, this isn't really, this is really not the best example to use, but you see what I'm doing here. I'm going to show you what to do with the perspective in another way, okay, and it'll be more apparent. So I'm going to hit Enter, all right, and then I'm actually going to hit my, see the white line there. I'm going to hit my up arrow key. That gets rid of it, but it's okay. Just like that is fine. All right, so now I'm going to work with the text here, okay. I see you have no adjustment layers that are clipping masks, but you do have a save and rename channel. So what I mean by that, I'm not having you do what you did in, I think it was 5.1, where you clip an image to the text. This is different. You want to clip an adjustment layer to text, so to the underlying layer. So let's see here, this leg here, okay? I'm going to select that layer and go to click on the adjustment layer icon down here, and I'll select levels, okay? Now, I'm going to give this a little more contrast by pulling the dark pixels in to the right and the lighter pixels in from the left. Now notice that it's affecting the entire image, okay? It's because it's not a clipping mask. It's going to affect all of these underlying layers. So I'm going to Alt-click in between the adjustment layer and the underlying layer, and now it's affecting only this underlying layer that affects this leg right here, okay? It actually looks better now. Okay, more contrast. Okay, so let's work with the text now. All right, I'm going to, let me just do that. I'll bring this text up here, and I'll hit Control T. Because, oh, okay. I guess it's because this is a warp situation. So now I'll take the center point and bring this over here. So it'll now scale out from that center point. Okay. So click on this corner here, click and drag outward, holding down the Shift key to constrain, and then the Alt key to scale out from that center point. So I'll go to something like that. I mean, you could, you know, come down, you want to stretch it like that, you could do that. So if I do this, it does that, okay? If I hold down the Alt key and do that, it scales out from that registration point or center point up and down, all right? Then I'll hit Enter. Then I'll take Critter, and I'll bring this down here. Let me take Chris and trash that. All right, so Critter, I'm going to hit Control T. Okay, it's asking me that again. I'm going to scale this up, and I'm going to hold down Shift. Actually, I don't have to, but I'm going to. And I'll come out to about here. All right, and then I'll hit Enter. All right. Now, I'm going to duplicate this layer. Okay. So with the layer active, Control J. Okay. So I have, this is the copy layer. Okay. I'm going to go to my text tool. Double click to highlight that text and type in Chris. I'm going to have it the same font. Okay. Then I'm going to drag that down here. All right. So with Critter, I'm going to clear the effects. All right. So I'll right click and clear layer style. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing for Chris. Here. Okay. I'm going to right click on the FX, clear layer style. Okay. So with Critter, I'll hit Control T, and I'm going to, okay. Why is that doing that? Oh, it's because I don't have the text. I don't have the font. And I'm going to pull this up just for variation. Okay. Chris, I'm going to, I need to rasterize this text. All right. So I'm going to visually center it because I want to give this perspective. But you cannot give perspective to a text layer, so I have to rasterize this so it's art. So I'll right click on it and go to rasterize type. Okay. Then I'll go to edit transform perspective. And I will pull this any corner, bottom corner, and I'll pull this out. All right, so something like that, fine. Now, what you can do is a number of things. So for Critter, I'll select that layer. I'm going to Control click on the thumbnail icon for the T in Critter and hide that layer. I'm going to scroll down to this layer here that holds this background, and I'm going to give this a layer style. So I'm going to double click on this, and I'm going to give it, I'm going to select the first option, bevel and emboss. Okay, outer bevel, and let me see. Here's what I did. I'm hitting Control H to hide the selection. All right. Now, oops, I did something incorrect. I forgot to take this selection and then Control J this. So I need Critter on its own layer. So Control J. All right. So that brought us to its own layer. It looks this way because the background you have as a percentage, an opacity of 82%. Okay, so I'm just going to make that darker. You know, it's okay. Yeah, I'll leave it like that. Actually, it really doesn't make a difference. Okay, so now with Critter, this layer active. So know what it did. Control J with the selection brought what was in that layer to the layer above. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is double click on this and create a bevel and emboss layer. Okay, and you can see it right away what's happening, and you can do this. You can select or click on the name bevel and emboss and then start experimenting. You could select with inner bevel. All right, that kind of gives it a different look, or outer bevel, which I tend to prefer. It looks like it's coming off the surface. You can also change the location of the light, so you'll get a different shadow effect. Okay, so experiment with that. Okay, and you can also go to other options here. Let's say a color overlay. All right, so I'll check that. Click on color overlay, and notice that you can, experiment with different colors and get different end results. Okay, so so that's for the color picker for color overlay. Okay, and note that it goes into overlay automatically. All right, so that's kind of interesting. All right, so I better stop there. I think that is something else to consider. Okay, all right, take care. Bye.